You're about to see why that premium six-pack tastes like a price tag. If you've ever added a lime just to make a beer tolerable, you're not fixing it. You're covering a flaw. Let's start with the worst offenders. One is marketed on calories, the other on beach vibes, but both deliver thin or skunky sips while charging import-level prices. Stay with me. By the end, you'll know 5 brands to skip and 3 budget picks that blind tests say actually taste better for less. Your wallet and your taste buds deserve the truth. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. What if the lime wedge and the 95 calories badge are the priciest parts of your beer? That's the brand tax at work. When you pay for labels, glass, and lifestyle copy, while the flavor budget gets trimmed to scraps.
Modelo and Corona Beer's importer Constellation Brands is projecting a drop of 2 to 4% in beer sales this fiscal year.
So overall, beer sales, whether it's craft or domestic, we are seeing a decline kind of across the board.
It highlighted a specific drop in sales among Hispanic customers who account for roughly half of Constellation Brands' market.
And while there are some concerns about that, I don't think it is as big a concern as maybe the numbers straight up indicate, because of the alternatives that there are, whether, again, like the THCA beverages is a big industry now.
Let's start with the 2 main traps. Michelob Ultra plays fitness buddy. Corona sells a beach. Both lean on a story so hard the liquid stops pulling its weight. Ultra lists tidy numbers. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, 4.2% ABV, but in the glass it drinks like mineral water with a grain whisper. You shell out import money for almost no malt or hop character. In blind tastings, Ultra lands near the bottom for flavor, with comments like water with a label. On shelves, you're looking at about $17 to $19 per 12-pack, while cheaper peers taste fuller and finish cleaner. Now the clear bottle darling. Corona's packaging lets light strike the beer, which flips hop compounds into sulfur-like notes. That's the skunky snap you know. The lime ritual isn't a garnish, it's a bandage. Tasters call out skunky, metallic edges, and a gassy finish. Yet it sits at premium import pricing, roughly $20 to $24 per 12-pack, despite a flaw linked to the bottle itself.
In America's ever-varying beer market, consumers have voted for their new favorite, Mexican beers like Corona, Pacifico, and Modelo.
There's really no scenario at this point where you would see Bud Light regain its #1 position.
Modelo Especial dethroned Bud Light in May 2023 and again in June, snapping its 22-year reign as the king of beers. Experts say it's only a glimpse at what's to come. According to them, Mexican beer was already ruling the U.S. market prior to Bud Light's fall.
3 more quick hits. Heineken rides a green bottle that invites light strike and a metallic finish, plus freshness that swings around while the price stays high. Stella Artois shows up over-carbonated, bloaty, and thin, with soft bread notes that collapse under the fizz, but the premium tag sticks. Modelo Especial leans corn sweet with a heavier body and a hype price that outkicks the flavor. A lot of what you see in the US is brewed under license, which muddies the import story. The real kicker, you can skip all 5 and drink better for less. Blind tests and everyday drinkers back it up. Now let's flip the script to the beers that stretch your dollar and stay clean in the glass. 3 picks you'll actually want to finish without chasing them with citrus. Which under $12 beers beat the big names when the logos vanish? Let's start with the win line. You want a clean finish, light malt that shows up without turning sweet, drinkability that holds past can 1, and a price that stays calm at checkout. Simple. Now the pushback. Cheap beer all tastes the same, right? We tested that with blind pours and plain wallet math. Busch Light keeps showing up. In label-off flights, it often lands close to or ahead.
In June 2023, Modelo Especial accounted for almost 11% of total beer sales, while Bud Light had fallen to 9%.
Modelo Especial would become the #1 beer in America by revenue. It just, happened quicker than we anticipated. And we plan on being the number one beer for 3, 5, 7, 10 more years going forward.
A shift from March, when Modelo represented 9.5% in total beer sales, and Bud Light was at 12.5%.
These trends have been building for a long time, and so certainly the timeline accelerated with some of the unique events in the last 6 months. But Modelo's been on a rise, and Bud Light's been on a decline, as we've seen overall shifts in the beer market.
Of Bud Light, the sip is crisp, a touch drier, and it stays steady across a long tailgate. You don't get that syrupy edge that makes your mouth tired. Shelf price usually sits around $9 to $11 per 12-pack, while Bud Light runs $15 to $18. Reviewers call out that clean finish and balanced malt. That's the point. You get the core of a light lager without the sugar glow or the spin. Natural light carries baggage it didn't earn. When you pour it blind, the story changes. The profile is neutral, and it stays out of its own way. You're not fighting sweetness, metal, or foam overload. In mixed flights with Bud Light and Coors Light, it can land right in the pack.
While consumers are buying less beer overall, they're spending more on each one. Hence, the rise of craft beers.
That's more consumers incrementally into the category, and it's consumers that have a tendency to favor Modelo Especial.
Another key factor? Demographics. Hispanics make up about 19% of the U.S. population, growing to 62.1 million in 2020, according to the last census. Much of the company's marketing dollars are spent targeting the minority group. But the beverage behemoth is also expanding its advertising strategy, making sure it appeals to a broader customer base.
Price tends to hit $8 to $10 a 12-pack. Taster's flag, surprisingly drinkable, and a simple, clean sip that works for budget rounds and backyard coolers. Now let's move on to Miller 64. On paper, 64 calories, 2.4 grams of carbs, 2.8% ABV. In the glass, it still tastes like beer. You get a light malt note, gentle fizz, and a clean exit. It avoids that hollow nothing you meet in a lot of ultralights. It's also a smart pace setter when you want the session without the crash. Swap one premium 6-pack for any of these, and you keep flavor while you save cash. You're paying for the beer, not the billboard. So what is the takeaway? Ditch the brand tax, trust your taste, and let your receipt prove it. If you need a lime or a slogan to enjoy it, you're paying a brand tax, not buying better beer. That's the truth hiding in plain sight. The label sells a mood, the bottle sells a story, the liquid cashes the check and comes up short. So keep your money with beers that earn it. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who keeps bringing premium 6-packs. Your taste buds don't need a billboard. Next, we'll test which store brand seltzers beat the name brands when the labels come off. You might want to clear some room in your fridge.